Paul stares down at the crisp paper in his hands. His name blares at the top in bold black ink. Termination. The office overhead lights glow warm, too warm for the cold finality of the words. He blinks once, he blinks twice. The letters don't blur or change. Disbelief settles soft across his chest, then melts away. His jaw sets. He folds the letter slow, one sharp crease at a time, tucks it into his pocket. He stands, grabs his bag, and walks out of the corporate building. No one stops him. No one says goodbye. That same afternoon, he unlocks his front door, drops his bag by the entry, and crosses to the kitchen. He pulls the printed brochure from his bag, sets it on the scuffed wooden table, and waits. 15 minutes later, the front door opens. Addison pulls off his shoes, walks into the kitchen, and pulls out the chair across the table. He drops into it, curious about the urgent call that pulled him from his own plans. Paul leans forward, pushes the dog training franchise brochure across the table until it stops right in front of Addison's hands. Addison picks it up, turns it over once, raises one eyebrow, holds Paul's gaze for 3 full seconds. Slowly, he nods. 1 week after that nod, the two men crouch shoulder to shoulder on green, sun-warmed suburban grass. Each holds a leather leash, both attached to the same golden retriever brought in by a first client for basic obedience. The dog sits for 3 full seconds, ears pricked at a squirrel darting across the lawn. Then, he yanks hard forward, all 70 pounds of excited muscle launching at the tree line. Paul stumbles half a step, his knees sinking into soft clover. Both men pull back against the leash, bracing their weight. The dog just jumps higher, tail wagging so hard his whole body wiggles from nose to hind paws. They exchange a baffled look, equal parts confused and amused. They drove an hour here, memorized 3 training guides the night before, and thought this would be simple. They were wrong. That evening, they retreat to Paul's cramped garage workspace. Stacks of dog training pamphlets tower next to an open laptop glowing blue against the concrete walls. Paul gestures wide with both hands, laying out his plan for low pricing and aggressive neighborhood flyering. Addison crosses his arms and shakes his head. He argues for higher rates, targeted online ads, and a slower rollout. Neither yells, but the air grows tight with frustration. They disagree on everything: pricing, marketing, how to handle dogs that lash out. Paul leans against the work table and stops talking. He waits for Addison to grab his keys and leave. Instead, Addison softens his stance. He drops his arms, leans against the table beside his father, and starts talking through middle ground. No one walks out. 2 months in, Paul kneels on frozen grass in a New England backyard. A thin dusting of snow crunches under his knees. A golden retriever with a history of biting pulls hard at the end of its leash, trembling from the tip of its nose to the tip of its tail. The owner stands pressed against the back fence, not moving, not speaking, afraid to spook the dog. Paul speaks low, steady, no sudden moves, no sharp commands. He repeats the same calm phrase over and over, holding one open hand out toward the dog's nose. The dog growls, low in its chest, shoulders hunched up toward its ears. It steps forward 1 tiny inch, then another. Paul doesn't reach. He just waits. The golden sniffs the air above his palm. Slowly, it lowers its head. Then it sinks into a sit, right at Paul's feet. The growl fades. The trembling slows. The young woman by the fence lets out a breath she'd been holding. She presses a hand to her chest, nods at Paul, eyes shiny with unspilled tears of relief. A mile away, Addison sits on weathered wooden porch steps outside a small clapboard house. An elderly couple sits on either side of him, holding tight to each other's hands. A tiny terrier huddles between their feet, ears flattened flat against its skull, too nervous to move. Addison doesn't reach for the dog. He doesn't call it over. 6 months after those first 2 wins, Paul and Addison sit side by side at a folding table in the garage. They run interviews for new trainers, one after another. Young people with a love for dogs file through the garage door. They talk about their own dogs, about why they want to do this work, about the frustration of seeing owners give up on good animals. One by one, they leave with a signed contract. 2 years later, a team of 8 crowd together on the cracked driveway in front of Paul's house. They press shoulder to shoulder in front of a new branded white van. A big woolly Mammoth logo blazes bright blue on the van's side panel. Each holds a leash attached to their own dog. They all grin, and the camera clicks to capture the moment. The business is growing. It's not all wins. Most nights, the only light in Paul's home office comes from a single dusty desk lamp in the corner. Stacked empty coffee cups ring the edges of the cluttered desk, rings of dark liquid staining the wood. Paul and Addison slump in their folding chairs, squinting at spreadsheets that stretch on for page after page. Today, they stand side by side in the sunlit new office. The light wraps around them, warm on their faces, cutting the chill of the winter air outside the windows. Paul lifts one arm and drapes it over Addison's shoulder. Addison leans into the weight, just a little, no words needed. Behind them, a large whiteboard holds a full map of Massachusetts. Every section of the map is dotted with colored pins. Each pin marks a dog they've calmed, a pair of owners they've helped, a town they've reached with their work. No spot on the map is left untouched. They both smile, genuine smiles that carry all the tiredness, all the frustration, all the small wins that got them here. The camera slowly pulls back, holding on their faces. It started with a crisp termination letter, folded tight into a pocket in an empty corporate office. Now the dream they built together covers the whole state,